Okay, now let's look at one more DM set from XAT 2026 paper. Let's understand the comprehension and let's then go down to the questions and understand what are the answers and why those options are the correct answers. So this scenario is about an organization called MultiKrack, which is an old FMCG company, and it has been a traditional business run by one family for generations after generations. And that's why the top management is from the same place, from the same origin, from the same community. And they are a growing kind of an organization. But problem is that their top management feels that they have to now inject new blood, Gen Z blood into their workforce. So their workforce is still plagued with, not plagued, that was, I shouldn't say plagued with, is still consisting of older members who are from a previous generation and they want to inject new blood. So they decide that they're going to now recruit from premium B schools who are Gen Z to bring in some new blood into the organization. And one of the people who have been recruited from these new age B schools is a Gen Z student named Anindita. So it's about her. And she reports to Uday, who is a senior manager. And Uday, as a senior manager, reported directly to the top management. And Uday, for all intents and purposes, which we'll look at in the question situations later on, say following this, is an older or from an older generation, is from Gen X, and Anandita is a young member. So the entire situation is about this, that as a youngster, as a Gen Z, that too in a very traditional kind of a company, she has gotten into the organization as part of their push to make the company newer, to bring in new and fresh ideas. So let's look at the situation. So first situation says that in one of the meetings, Uday was making a presentation on positioning their popular product to make it more appealing to Gen Z. Unhappy with the discussion, Anandita candidly shared her concern regarding the assumptions Uday made about Gen Z. Uday immediately retorted, Anandita, this is a discussion for adults. Kids like you should listen for a few months before sharing their opinion. Further, he remarked, you Gen Z have opinions about everything regardless of the subject. Thereafter, he brushed aside any views Anandita attempted to share during the discussion. After the meeting, Anandita felt offended. However, when she discussed it with other management trainees, they did not find anything wrong with what Uday said. Even then, she decided to do something about such a treatment, since it would be seen as an approved behavior. Which of the following options will best help Anindita in taking an appropriate stand against Uday's behavior? So that's a question that there's a meeting that has just happened, recently happened, and what has happened because of that meeting is that Uday has made some unsavory remarks towards Anindita, who expressed problems with the way that Uday was typecasting or treating Gen Z or was thinking about Gen Z, because the product is supposed to be marketed to a Gen Z audience, and his understanding of Gen Z was not incorrect. So that's why she raised concerns and said that his idea was not correct, and then she was belittled, she was treated like a child, and her opinions were not taken into consideration. She reached out to her friends also to see if anyone else is facing the same problem, and they said that no, this is her problem entirely. So this is not Anandita's problem, is what they said. And now Anandita wants to take some action to rectify whatever has happened, or to at least bring some kind of a action towards this behavior of Uday, so that in the future at least he takes her seriously. So which of these should she do? So keeping this in mind, if I look at the options, right? So the first few options uh, that I should eliminate is number one, immediately eliminate option E. E is inaction. E is exactly what Uday has said, has asked Anindita to do. And Anindita has clearly said that she wants to take an appropriate stand against Uday's behavior. E is a non-stand. She's not taking any kind of a stand. That's why E cannot be the correct answer. So that's why we will eliminate E first. Next option that you have to understand from a corporate perspective that we should be eliminating is D, because only she is having a problem with Uday, right? So no other employee is having a problem. If she alone, as a very, very new joinee, goes to straight away the top level management and lodges a formal complaint, that puts her position in the company in a bit of a trouble. It might come across as though she is the only one who is having a problem, no one else is having a problem. So it might be her problem entirely because the company has been doing very well. So then that puts a spotlight on her and she has to fight a lone battle. So that should be the last resort. That should not be something that you immediately do, that you find a problem and then immediately raise it to the top management, especially as a new joinee. It's a very dangerous thing to do inside corporates, and that's why D should not be done. Next option that absolutely should be eliminated, I think everyone should eliminate it straight off the bat, is A, because ask your colleagues to talk to Uday on behalf of her. That is just, not taking responsibility for your own problems. So A is just trying to manipulate others into helping you out, and that's a very wrong thing to do. You have to, in corporations, you have to take charge. So among B and C, which is more correct? I think here the question becomes very easy, because urging other management trainees to petition the top management jointly with her will probably not work, because others are saying that this is no big deal and Uday is correct in whatever he has said. So she's definitely not finding help from other management trainees, and that's why C cannot be the answer. Whereas B, if you have a problem, communicate the problem first. Directly go to Uday and talk to him. And if you want to be firm, be firm. But tell him that there's a problem, that she's in the company for a reason. She's drawing salary. So what is she doing in return for salary? Her entire job of being there is to bring a Gen Z perspective. And if the discussion is around Gen Zs, then her opinion should be heard at least, if not absolutely accepted. And that's why B absolutely makes sense. That is the appropriate, most appropriate way to take a stand. So I think first few options that should be eliminated are A, C, and D. D, I can understand a bit of confusion, but remember that first step should never be to raise a complaint, lodge a formal complaint to the top management, especially if you're alone. And especially if you have not yet articulated your problems to the immediate management, senior management. That's why B is not the correct answer. Okay, next situation says, Arindita was passionate about bringing a change in her organization. Thus, she went thoroughly prepared for every meeting. However, she soon realized her ideas were not taken up for discussions during meetings. She often felt looked down upon by Uday, who dismissed her suggestions without even hearing them out. When she discussed her experience with other MTs, other management trainees from other departments, she came to know this was a common practice across MultiKrack. They wanted to do something about it. However, they were clueless about the course of action, since the seniors did not seem to be interested in listening to them. Which of the following actions by the management trainees will be most effective in improving the treatment of Gen Z at MultiKrack? See, this slightly changes the situation from 32. As compared to 32, in 33, in question number 33, this question in front of you, the problem is a collective problem of management trainees. When a collective problem of management trainees, people belonging to the same age group, is experienced, that's a cultural problem within MultiKrack. And the problem itself is that their senior management, the management who is residing on top of Gen Z, are refusing to listen to them. And what are they trying to do? Again, reading the question is very important. Question is, they want to, in the company, improve the treatment of Gen Z. Across the company, they want to improve the treatment of Gen Z. So this is a culture that needs to be developed across the organization. And this needs to be kept in mind before you decide what is the correct answer. And first options based on this that we should be eliminating is option B. Seek informal meetings with seniors belonging to Gen X and try to explain the Gen Z point of view. Why this will not work? Why this might work if it's an individual problem. This is what you should do when it's an individual problem, but not if it's a culture problem, is because number one, informal meetings, they are not on record. Number two, the entire problem is that the Gen X managers are not listening to the Gen Z point of view. So what makes them think that informal meetings will help them listen suddenly? So you are trying to tackle the problem by again recreating the problem. That is never going to work. That's why B is not the correct answer. Second, or next option that is absolutely incorrect is option C. Create an informal support group. Okay, they already have a support group. Support group can only listen to each other. That's too informal, not something which is certified by the organization. They will listen to each other problems and give each other a shoulder to cry. But how is that going to improve the company culture? Not at all going to improve company culture. So C is not a correct answer. D, similarly, is a kind of inaction. Focus on proving themselves professionally and be patient until attitudes change in general. So this is, again, as good as not taking any action. This is inaction. That's why D is not the correct answer. Answer is either A or E. Confront their colleagues directly whenever they come across as unfair and rude, like during the meetings itself. Confront them and tell them that you are unfair, you are rude, and then tell it to them to their face. So this can actually, make them think, possibly make them think and rectify their ways. That's why A is a possible answer. E says reach out to the top management and explain how the attitude of the seniors is affecting their morale. Now, among A and D, I can understand this question being very tricky, because in the previous question, I said that you should not reach out to the upper level management. But this question is different because it's a collective issue and it's a company culture issue. So culture can only be impacted top down when policies are in place to develop a particular culture inside an organization. And if you want a cultural shift, you cannot expect the bottom level to initiate that cultural shift, because culture is created by the management. It is not created by the employees. Case in point, you can take the example of Byju's. Byju's suffered so much in the public eye because so many salespeople were treating customers unfairly. The junior level sales employees were feeling the pressure on them because the managers who are sitting on top of them were feeling even more sales pressure. And it is because pressure is coming from the top to make sales. So people were resorting to several different measures, which was stressing everyone down the line and also the product that is being sold to the customers. So culture is actually propagated from top down and never bottom up. So if you want to have an organization wide restructuring or reculturing, then of course reaching out to the top management is important. Problem with A also is that, see, when you confront your colleagues, maybe some of them might be receptive, but not all of them. So if all of them are not receptive, you're not changing culture, right? So let's say 50% of the senior managers listen and they actually rectify their ways. But remaining 50% continue to belittle their juniors, the Gen Z employees. Then the culture has not changed. And then the same culture can propagate throughout the system again if these small number of people, these 50% employees who have changed their perspective, leave the organization. So A is a very dicey 50-50 kind of effectiveness. But E, if you go to the top level management, they are the ones who can affect change. And let's say that they don't affect change. That means this company is never ever going to change culturally. And that will tell you that you should leave the organization directly. So E is the correct answer and not A. Slightly tricky. I understand the confusion between A and E. Okay. But B, C, and D should be eliminated. All right. Last question of this particular set. So this question says that a few months passed, Arindita was a valuable member of a team and the top management was impressed with her. However, the other management trainees left the organization. In their exit interviews, they shared the condescending behavior of senior management as the reason for the departure. Some even left MultiKrack to join organizations that paid lesser than MultiKrack paid. The top management understood that the seniors belonged to a different generation. They found it difficult to appreciate the intergenerational differences. The top management felt it was high time to do something about senior management's behavior towards the juniors. This line is very important. The top management wants to do what? It wants to do something about the behavior of senior management towards juniors. Which of the following actions considered by the top management will best enable change in senior management's behavior? So we are trying to change the senior management's behavior. That is the problem to be addressed. See, a common thread running across that decision-making questions over the years has been that you have to read the question and to address whatever the question is asking. So we have to change senior management's behavior. That is why an option which a lot of students have marked should not have been marked as D. Hire more Gen Z and fast track them to senior management based on performance. Why? Because this is going to have zero impact on the current senior management's behavior. And that's why D cannot be the correct answer. Of the remaining options, I think very simple answers which have to be eliminated is C. Ask Gen Z to rate the senior management on their behavior every quarter. It gives a method to evaluate senior managers, but then it doesn't tell us that what kind of action will be taken based on this rating and whether that will lead to a change in behavior or not. That's why C is an incomplete answer. Maybe using these ratings, the company is planning to come up with policies, had things like that been written, then maybe C could have been a possible course of action. But then because it does not tell us that what consequences this action is going to lead to, that's why C cannot be the answer. Next option that I would eliminate personally is A. A says keep management trainees in mostly independent roles to limit their interactions with senior management because number one, this cannot be done. Practically, if you've got management trainees, they are trainees. They are getting trained. Who will they get trained by? By managers who are currently existing. So it's impossible to keep them mostly independent. Second thing is that this also does not address the problem of changing the behavior. Okay. Changing the behavior of senior management. B and D are at least steps that might result in a change in behavior of senior management. So B says invest in diversity, equity, and inclusion training using mass exodus as a turning point for the organization to embrace. E says issue a company-wide warning that any form of discrimination will result in disciplinary action. So, this comes down to very basic management principles that whether you want people to feel included and that's why respect you, or do you want people to feel scared and that's why respect you? So always a good manager is someone who makes all their employees feel included as part of the organization and then understand the management culture, the company culture, and then take everyone together on a journey to make the company a success. Rather than propagating scare tactics from the top and making people afraid that if they do something here and there, then they might get penalized, and that's why they should respect the decision of the company. That's always a very dicey thing to happen, because that creates a environment of fear, and that will lead to more attrition. Probably senior management will start leaving under such an environment of fear. That's why E is the less correct answer, and B is the more correct answer, or the correct answer. Thank you.